Welcome back to Inside the Vandals. Joining me now, Idaho women's basketball coach John Newley. John, thanks for stopping by this week.
Great to be here again.
Appreciate it. So John, a bit of a roller coaster week to say the least. Let's start off maybe on the negative and get that one out of the way. We start off Thursday, Louisiana Tech here in town. You guys have never beat the Lady Techsters. You get a big lead on them, double-digit lead that you've had several times so far in the WAC, and unfortunately just not able to hold on late, fall in that one by 9 points. Talk about what you said to the girls after that game.
It was hard. You know, it was a game where we were in control from the start, and we get that 20-point lead with about 16 minutes to go. We're feeling pretty good about things, I can tell you. You know, we were rolling, going, and took some quick shots, some bad shots. Defensively, I think our intensity kind of dropped down. And Louisiana Tech's a championship team, you know, and they are for a reason. They came back and showed a lot of heart, a lot of desire, and took it to us at the end. So we talked in the locker room about, you know, once we get leads is extending the leads, not just hanging on and playing to win. And I thought we played that game not to lose. And I think sometimes with young players that happens. You know, they get on this stage for the first time, and it's different for them. You know, it's Louisiana Tech, and it's first time ever, and you know, I think they felt that moment, and I told them they got to play through that kind of thing and just play our game, relax, play our game, because that's what got us to lead in the first place.
In the first half there, freshman wing Christina Salvatore, explosive, 14 points, hitting everything from behind the arc. Cooled down a bit in the second half, but focusing there on the first 20 minutes, talk about the explosiveness that she brings to the court night in and night out.
Well, Christina is a great scorer. You know, I knew that when we signed her. You know, it was a huge sign for us. I knew she'd come in and be an impact player right away. She has shown that. Extremely talented on the offensive end. Still a work in progress defensively, of course, as all freshmen are, though, really. And so we're doing, you know, working with her on those type of things. But at any point, she can go off, as you've seen so far. And so far, a great freshman year from her.
And then also another big name there, Alyssa Charleston, of course, the junior post here for Idaho, 16 points in that one, and another great game following that up on Saturday. Let's move past La Tech. The team did a really good job of moving past La Tech. Here to Saturday, faced off against UT Arlington, the first time these two programs have ever met. You guys led this one start to finish, a 20-0 run in the first half, end up winning this one 70-52, moved to 4-3 in the conference, above 500. 3 of your last 4 games, you guys have got a victory. Just talk about how good that win felt coming off that La Tech loss.
Oh, it felt great. You know, I was glad we were able to play on Saturday, just one day in between the games. You know, sometimes that's not a good thing, but this was. You know, I think everybody from the coaches through the players wanted to get back on that floor and make amends for Thursday night. And I thought right from the start we did. You know, we came out focused, energized, and ready to put Thursday behind us. And you saw the effort both offensively and defensively. I thought was a huge team effort all the way around.
Coming into games like UT Arlington, before the game, the Mavericks 3-12 overall, 1-5 in conference play. Is it possible for any team in this conference to overlook any other team?
I don't think so. There's so much parity here. You know, in Arlington, they have a big win. They've been in every game, really. So, and we're certainly not, you know, talented enough to sit there and show up and win. So, you know, we know what we have to do. We have to come focused every night. That's the challenge in the WAC for everybody. There's so much parity that any night, the cliche, you know, anybody can win, but anybody can win this league. You know, we see people losing at home, winning on the road. It's there for the taking, and we got to come focused, ready every night. You know, if we want it to be ours.
They're against the Mavericks here for the Vandals. 4 Idaho players in double figures. Alyssa Charleston, 20 points on 10 of 15 shooting. Excuse me. Fantastic night for her from the floor. Connie Ballestero does it all. Double-digit points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and of course everyone's household name now, Maren Askulin, the sophomore from Norway. 5 of 5 from the floor, 11 points. Talk maybe a bit about Maren, because really even those of us who travel with her don't really know her that well.
Maren's pretty quiet,
yeah,
you know.
To say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. But, you know, she's done a good job this year of being ready when called. You know, there's games she hasn't played, but when she's got in there, she's made an impact. And certainly Saturday night, she made a huge impact. Got in, finished down low, what we needed. We weren't getting that scoring down on the block. Did a great job physically of moving their posts around, getting on the glass. Made her free throw, you know, came in and played hard, and all with a straight face and in and out, and there she goes, you know. Another day's work for Maren.
Now moving on to this week, we head down to Texas to continue this Texas 3 swing, and we're starting off here against Texas State, another team that we really don't know much about in the Bobcats, and they are led by the WAC's leading scorer, the nation's 9th leading scorer in Diamond Ford. Talk about her ability really just to light up the scoreboard any given night.
Oh, I mean, she's the most explosive scorer in our league. You know, she can score off the bounce. She can catch and shoot from the 3, creates her own shot, gets on the O boards. I mean, she's a heck of a player. And, you know, we're going to have to know where she is. We're going to have to limit her touches. But they got some other scores as well. You know, they're not just the Diamond Ford show. So, I mean, she did have 40, against San Jose?
Yeah.
You know, 40 against San Jose. So she's capable of huge numbers, and we don't want that to happen. I think she's going to score some points. But we're going to have to hold down the rest of the team and do a good job on Ford if we want to win.
Now, this is another Texas State team that really has struggled so far in the WAC season. Overall, a little slow. Tough non-conference, though, for them. And that would obviously be the second win. That'd be 4-5 at that point. Then you guys head into UTSA, and this is turning into be maybe a matchup that really could be key for positioning. UTSA 4-3 in the WAC, just as you guys are. Talk about how big that win would be, not only to have that 3-game win streak there, but to be able to jump them and really solidify yourself in the top 3 in the WAC standings.
Well, if we could make a good showing out in Texas and get a couple of wins, it'd be huge. I still think it's early to talk about positioning and things like that right now, as we're just meeting the halfway part of the season. But it'd be huge to go down there. It's a hard place to play. It's a hard place to win down there at UTSA and Texas State both. You know, I think we're going to have to defend. We're going to have to rebound like we did on the last road trip to have a shot at getting a sweep.
And you talk about being at the halfway point right now, after UTSA at least. That will be the 9th game of the WAC. Is there any surprises with this team that you've seen that maybe you didn't expect in conference play through these first 7 games?
Well, I think we're rebounding better maybe
Sure.
than I thought we might after the non-conference. Shooting the ball extremely well. I knew we'd do that. I think I like our defense. You know, I think defensively we've gone out and executed the game plan. You know, Jordan does a great job of getting the scout ready for our team and walking them through what we think is going to happen out there on the floor. And our kids have really focused in on the defensive end and really taken the game plan to heart. So I like all of those things. I still think we need to obviously play with more focus for 40 minutes. I was telling somebody we're the best 25-minute basketball team in the country,
By far.
right now. But we got to extend that to 40, man. And as soon as we start to do that, and those young players get that. You know, in high school for them, once you get a 20-point lead in high school, it's over. Game's over. You know, and they kind of stop playing. And they found out at this level that doesn't happen here. So they know they got to play for 40, and especially on the road, it's more important than ever to stay focused for 40. And I think if we can go do that, then we'll be in every game.
Does the NCAA keep that stat yet? 25-minute games?
I'm just keeping that personally.
That's a new thing.
That's my own stat.
Awesome. One last question here for you, John. You talked about Jordan Green and his job in the scouting department. Maybe for those who aren't too familiar with, you know, how the game really progresses, it's more than just the 40 minutes on the court. Talk about what really scout does and just how vital it is to a team's success.
Oh, it's huge for us. You know, my assistant coaches pour through hours of film. Hours. They watch every game that the teams we're playing have played. Break it all down offensively, defensively, individually. And so when we go out on the floor, Jordan will walk them through their offensive sets and what we expect from them. But it's a combination of all my assistant coaches and myself looking at the film and then trying to figure out the game plan. But you know, I let Jordan focus on the defense. Really, that's his deal, and he's done a great job right now for me. And you know, Krista helps him out, and Christy, they all get in there in that film room and break it down and get it ready for me when I get here and get on the floor. So. You know, then offensively, I like to break them down myself and see where I think their weaknesses are. And then we all talk about it as a staff, come up with our game plan, and hopefully it works.
Awesome, John. Well, that's Idaho coach John Newley. Thanks for joining us here, and we'll talk to you down in Texas.
All right, thanks, Madison.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week to Inside the Vandals. We want to thank Idaho men's coach Don Verlin and women's coach John Newley for stopping by. Make sure you guys tune in next week as well when we talk with both coaches as they hit the mid-season point of WAC play. We also want to remind you guys to check out our Facebook at facebook.com/InsideTheVandals and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/VandalInsider for all your Idaho Vandals sports news. I'm Madison McCord. Have a great week.